Welcome back. Now on to the highly awaited discussion this morning, the newspaper review. The guests are already in studio, and it is quite exciting because we are just talking with Murithi here. Alex is telling me about Gadi. He's the CEO and founder of Gadi, a youth-led initiative that is giving back to the community, which is quite interesting. Seeing a young person venture into politics, getting into leadership spaces is very interesting. Now, before I get into so many conversations, because I talk a lot, let me just introduce the guests who are in studio with us tonight so that we can get straight into the discussion. Oh my God, this morning, apologies. We'll begin with you, Murithi.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. Yeah, so let me first start by saying thanks to Almighty God. You know, in our country right now, you see, if you leave your house and you get to where you are going, you just don't take it for granted. So for me, I think every time I leave my house, either I'm going to work, like today I was coming here to this interview, I do say thank you to God for protecting me and guiding me. Yeah, I don't take it for granted because
Thank you so much.
we have a lot that is taking and occurring in our country. Also, at the same time, I thank you for hosting me today here. We do take this conversation. You know, in our country right now, we need to talk because a lot of things need to be addressed. And I think it is by talking that we can get. So just as you have said, let me make it clear that my name is Murithi Alex. You add there before the CIM. That stands for Certified Industrial Mathematician. Yeah, I am a recent graduate from JKUAT, and currently I'm practicing my profession at Infinity Industrial Park. Yes, the largest private industrial park, not just in Kenya, but in Eastern and Central Africa. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to having a good discussion so that we can see where we will place our country.
We'll definitely have a good discussion.
Yeah, sure.
No doubt about that.
Thank you.
Tio Juan, I've missed you. How have you been?
I've been well. I see hope.
Good to see you.
I see positivity. I see great minds ready to take up and shape up and fix this station. I see young graduates hunger and eager to lead our people into the right direction. A direction that maybe we lost just because we were told since we were young that mzee akiwa ameketi anaona mbali kuliko ile jina inapeago yule mwenye lazima apande juu ya mti ndio aone maybe the same or closer distance. Times are changing. You are from a conversation with Ajira Digital. These spaces they are taking up the youths were not there before, or if they were there before, not in our Africa's civilization. So we are at a point yenye lazima wazee na vijana waketi wajadiliane. Sio wazee waketi wa dictate kwendeni huku, kwendeni huku, kwendeni huku.
We are out of that era.
We are also in a world where no one is safe. We started with youths being abducted, being held incommunicado, and being told that they are indisciplined. And the ball is still on their parents' court. The president of this nation and his MPs went on a spree of calling us indisciplined youths. They never looked at the spark of their eyes. Some of them talked of how they could kill 5,000 Gen Zs if they had chance. From the northern Kenya. The northern Kenya, where now we are hearing about Al-Shabaab abducting 5 chiefs in Mandera. If you wake up, come to work, go home, you say thank you to God, just like CIM. Industrial.
Certified industrial mathematician.
Because it's no longer safe. We are not at ease anymore. But I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for the chance.
You're very much welcome. Now, this morning we're beginning our discussion on a very high note, and we're beginning our discussion by the headline on the Standard. It is a day when we're expecting the president to be having his, do we call it developmental tours or political tours or campaign?
It's a tour.
let's call it a tour into the northeastern region. He recently was in the western region, and he lobbied really hard for his 2027 election bid. Now, there's quite a lot that is expected on the northeastern region. And just before this is happening, just before he sets foot in the northeastern region, 5 chiefs are abducted. And all this time is not by unknown persons. We are used to abducted by a known person. But this time, it is alleged to be abduction by the Al-Shabaab. Now, they have given us an identity. This time, we know who is abducting who. So, let me begin by you, Mushiri. Oh,
yes,
Murithi.
It's Murithi.
Apologies for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Let me begin with you.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about this? A president is going to visit a place.
Yeah.
And then there's an abduction of people who are planning his visit.
Yeah. So I think it is maybe it is quite frustrating to see that before the visit of a head of state that we're still talking about the issue of insecurity. You know, in our country, I think we have trivialized this conversation. You know, we have been talking about insecurity, but the government has been claiming that it is actually beating its chest, saying that we have done all these, and there is no issues about abductions and whatever. Even this same government, it has gone ahead and said that we are abducting ourselves. So the big question is, could the chiefs have abducted themselves? But now we have the answers, that we have set the standards. We have shown people that we like abductions. So these Al-Shabaab or these fellas from this neighboring country, they are assisting us with what our government have been doing, because we have always been saying this thing, complaining to the government. So I think it is like a reinforcement for the government. So it is very shameful for our chiefs. I wonder now, where safe can we the citizens be if even the chiefs who are meant to be providing security to us are now calling for maybe such issues about insecurity? So it is a wake-up call. Like, we should not take this matter like in the light hands, like the president and this government people are trying to show. We need security. Security is paramount. When we talk about abductions, that thing is frustrating. The government should understand that we, the young people, we are totally disgusted by this government. Because you can't say that when I speak, when I question the government, that I am fearing that I might be abducted, then where is my right of having the freedom of speech? So you see this issue, it is like going, you see, we are just trying to talk as if it's a very easy task, or maybe it's a small thing, but you see now it is going ahead to even, we are not sure whether the safety of that place is now guaranteed, because now you see that what happened yesterday. So it is a wake-up call. We should not take this issue lightly. Let the government do its role. Let it provide security to the people, and let's stop this issue about abductions. We are from those eras that we were afraid of speaking. Right now, people are informed, and we can't sit and watch to see our country going to the wrong direction. We must caution and we must speak, because I don't understand why we as the people, we should just keep quiet to just watch the country going to the wrong direction. Then where will these leaders, what will be putting this government of ours into the balances? You see, right now, we don't have people who are putting our government to the checks and balances. We don't have an opposition. You know, our president have managed to like win all the political class. He has taken all the people, he's like giving them. If he sees you like you are bringing competition to him, he'll just call you and he gives you a docket. Like, that is what the president is doing. So now the people are left for themselves. They are fighting by themselves. So, and you see, the people are actually frustrated by everything by this government. So it is a high time that this government provides and sufficient security. And it is not like we are humbly requesting. That is their role. We are demanding for security. And the president should, with his administration, make sure that the security of the people is guaranteed. Yeah,
we are demanding security.
We are demanding for security.
Now, Ojwang, Alex has mentioned that if the people who are on the political ranks or people who are supposed to be protecting us as citizens are abducted, what then are we as citizens? How then is our security, we as citizens? What is your stance on this rising wave of abductions that is unattended by the government and now by foreign officials? Now, if we can't contain our own abductions, how then are we going to contain this by the foreign nationals?
We have made it a norm as a country that you can just get abducted and nothing happens. That we have laws that are not clear on what penalties an abductor should get, what criminal charges to charge them They are saying there is nothing like forced disappearance in our Kenyan constitution, yet it is happening. The president himself, Salasia talked of president not having advisors. He is not safe in Mandera, not at all. How Mandera chiefs were abducted by suspected Al-Shabaab gunmen. On page 3, Daily Nation. Exactly. Administrators were heading to El-Wak to help with screening of applicants for national identity cards. Screening of applicants for national identity cards. In other parts of the country, the youths are crying. Hatuna ID, Ruto. Hatuna ID, Murkomen. But the same screening happened on our borders. If you have not noticed, na nataka hapa hivi kila Mkenya kuwe very keen, tuko na sudden rise ya watu kutoka jamii za huko juu. I don't want to call them Somalis because it's still not clear if they are our people or not our people. I have interacted with so many of them around universities. The national language of Kenya is Swahili. It beats the odd of how you are in university and you still don't know any Swahili. All you speak, if it's not your mother tongue, from the north, it's English. So, it could also mean that these people are not Kenyans. Our chiefs are believed to have intel. The president, every 6 a.m. at State House yenye yako, lazima apewe briefing usiku kumekuaje, 24-hour briefing. Na hii briefing huanza kwa assistant chief. Kwa ground wanasema aje kwa hii kijiji. Assistant chief anabrief chief. So chief akona a lot of ground information which is used by NIS for intel, which is used by KDF for intel, which is fed to the president every 6 a.m. Alafu usikie 5 chiefs wamebebwa na abductors wako toka nchi ingine. Ni makosa yetu. Ni makosa ya the man who is in charge at the moment. Some people may say, he is not my president. I don't recognize him or I don't do this. But he was sworn in accordance to Kenyan constitution. He is not able to protect himself if he cannot protect his chiefs. His chiefs are mandated to protect us, but it seems they can't since they are not able to protect themselves. We saw people like Kalonzo Musyoka. Wakona mambwa. Wamejiekea.
For their own security.
I saw former President LSK Nelson Harvey. Wakona mambwa. Na wanasema activate citizen arrest. Citizen arrest is wewe Sylvia Nyango ukiona CIM, Certified Industrial Mathematician Alex Anna get abducted by people who are not using a Mariamu, by people who are not using GK and are not uniformed, have not identified themselves as police, you should not accept that to happen in any way. No one, when these people were being abducted, imeandikwa hapa hivi, according to the witnesses, the 8:30 a.m. incident caught security agencies by surprise. Umeshika? So wakibebwa, no one knew kwenye wanapelekwa. Juu hawa watu ni Al-Shabaab, hawajatoka Kenya. But wewe hawezi tell huyu ni Mkenya ama huyu si Mkenya. Our cops are not well informed. I think the best thing they do in Keganjo is run and know how to hold a gun, know how to throw tear gas. There was a time we had maandamano happening around Thika Road concerning KM Kiwanja people. The police, because they want to show how powerful they are, they were harassing everyone, including myself and our team. I was beaten badly by police using those mitutu ya bunduki ile wenye waneka tear gas hapa mbele na kugonga nayo vichwa, just for you to feel, just for them to feel they are powerful. But they cannot protect chiefs. Chiefs are being taken out of their eyesight. Kenya Defence Forces said to be leading the team to search for and rescue the chiefs. None of the 5 has been found alive or dead. But the president of the nation, Kenya, will be starting his tour in the northern region. How sure are we he is safe? Does it concern him that his people are being abducted and he is aiding that? His own CSs are fighting him on that. His own MPs, those who are believed to be his number 1 cheerleaders, choir masters, are now against it. Or those expected to be cheering him on are against it. We as a country should say no to abductions, not the president. The president is a representative of the people, not your MP. Your MP is a representative of you. We must remove fear from our life, because either way we will get abducted. No one has submitted an appeal to be abducted tomorrow, next week, or next month. The civil society are crying. Yesterday we had the Kitengela 3, Bob Njagi and the 2 brothers, crying that their lives are in danger. Mlolongo 4, 2 are dead. 2 are still missing. And we are still quiet. Until when? Until when, fellow Kenyans?
It's quite unfortunate. On that note, I think when we talk about our security issues, it is really painful, because when you look at our leaders speak, they say tumeweka mikakati, multinational agencies and using technologies and all that. And I wonder how these leaders are even going to get to the northeastern region, because often the cars that travel, previous years we've seen that garis in a safari, then on the way there's a landmine and is in explode. So if that is addressed, well and good, but we hope much is going to be done to better our nation. Now moving on, we are moving to the economies of our country, and that is following Mbadi's Bunge la Wananchi that was held yesterday. And in that meeting, what was quite interesting was that first, let me give Mbadi his flowers. He was well prepared. He was well prepared to address the people. One thing about a good public speaker, a good speech, a good proposal, is when you handle the challenges before they're presented to you. And when he was talking about them, he said, I know you're going to ask me about nimewambia economy ni nzuri, lakini pesa haiko kwa mifuko yenyu, about disposable income. And he mentioned quite a number of things why disposable income is not on Kenyans' pockets. Among them is high interest rate loans by government, not by government, by banks and all that. But now, there's one thing you mentioned, Alex.
Yes.
That in this government, when you're a critic of the government,
Yes.
you're given something. You're given something so that utulize boli, like utulie.
Exactly.
So Mbadi, before he was appointed as the CS of Treasury, he was a very strong critic of the Kenya Kwanza government in terms of what economies of the country is concerned. But now, he is the champion defending the nation. Yes, he's saying the inflation rate is lower and all that. So what do you think about his saying on the economy of our country? Is it really that the government is working, or is it just supporting the government for the role? Okay,
thank you very much, Sylvia, for that question. I think even before I answer that one, let me first of all commend the Bunge la Mwananchi. You see, the reason is why we are having the Bunge la Mwananchi. I feel like even the Bunge la Mwananchi is delivering more than our very parliament, because of late we haven't been seeing anything good that is coming out from that parliament. You see, during the times to pass the bills that are actually good for the people, these people are never there. I don't know when the parliament even happens. We don't see them. The time they should be full in the parliament, they are never there.
They're resuming session today, actually.
Yeah, so like you see, the reason is why the Bunge la Mwananchi, we feel like there is nobody who is speaking for us. So the bunge la mwananchi, and I thank you Mr. Mbadi for going there. At least he went there like a casual man, at least to hear, because for sure people are suffering, and we need these issues to be addressed. You see, the political class, they are living up there. They are actually in their own sphere. Everything is working out. Even if you go and inquire from them the cost of chumvi or maybe bread, some of them don't even know. But they are saying that everything is happening. So about the issue about the performance of our economy, one thing I want to make it clear without fear of contradiction, like this government, most of its agencies, or maybe most of the people who are in this government, they are pro-government. First of all, what we need to understand, that there is no time that these people will come and actually accept defeat. Even the president himself, even when you are drowning, he will come and tell you you are not drowning. You look, you are not drowning, but your head, your whole body is just in water. And he's telling you. So I don't know where we are headed as a country, because it has now become like a norm. Like you guys keep on complaining forever. You can complain day in, day out, but we from the government, we will defend. Look at the government spokesperson, Isaac Maura. Every time he speaks, he will tell you, like he's confidently saying that this is happening, but there is nothing is happening. How comes you can tell us that the new university funding model is working, and yet it is not working? Actually, yesterday you saw even the CEO of HELB, they resulted to maybe going back to the old model, having wasted a lot of resources. Like they have a committee they have set, and all day you have been singing, like this university funding model is working out, but it's not working. Then in the long run, you result to maybe after the demonstrations. Why do you wait until we get to such points? It's the time you are acting. So for me, I think, and other things, let's say for example in the health sector, also we have been having issues with SHA. For instance, let me just make it clear. You know, it is good to talk from what is real. Like for instance, from the company we are working from, we normally pay our SHA. The company will be paying, and it does that. But actually, as from last week, we had one of my colleagues who had an issue with maybe the issue of SHA. But after maybe going back and forth, the system has not been working. You know, the SHA people resulted to maybe going ahead and uploading all those things manually, because they don't have the correct data, they have not upgraded the systems, nothing is working. But yet in all political meetings, everything in the news, they are saying that everything is working. So for me, I want just to put it clear to the government agencies and to these people who are pro-government, before you come to confirm anything, like telling us that the economy is working, first of all confirm. I tell you, this issue they are talking about now, the economy is perfect. Yes, the issue, they might say the inflation is decreasing, but how many factories are we shuttering right now? I tell you from experience, personally from our park, we have not less than 30 factories operating within the park. But of late, I have just been hearing people are lamenting the cost of electricity is very high. People cannot even manage to pay their workers. And the government is still saying that like we have promoted this thing, the economy is going on well. I tell you right now, most industries are shuttering down. The manufacturing industries in our country, they don't have any competition. They can't compete with the people who are importing things. I tell you, even today, people are importing some goods without even paying any taxes. Some commodities are just getting in, and because these people just know the know-how of getting away with it, they can manage. Like our economy is not going to the right direction. I don't know up to when we shall sing this song, but the government have like stated and have decided they will have their ears deaf. They won't hear. They want to do what they feel. They don't want to act to the reality. So for me, I can't maybe accept that the economy or maybe our country is going towards the right direction because I feel like Kenyans are suffering. I tell you today, like you see most of these issues, you know, if you don't have security, you don't have education, you don't have even food, how can you manage even to work? And I tell you, Sylvia, Kenyans are very hardworking. You see, it gets to a time that now they feel like they can't do anything. They must go to the least they can go and do, so that they can raise something for their stomachs. Like right now, you see, you heard Mr. Mbadi yesterday saying that they have now dug enough to those people who receive the pay slips. you know the government has really dug. You know, the issue about the housing levy, the SHA thing, then we have the pay, doubling the pay. Like I tell you, people are frustrated. Anybody who is working, for instance, how comes you can tell me 40% of my salary I'm giving to the government, and that is literally what is doing. You have not yet counted. That is a direct thing that I'm paying to the government. Then you don't count the commodities that I'm purchasing, the transport I'm using, all these things I'm giving back to the government. So you find like I'm not working even for myself. I'm working for the government. And as if that is not enough, the government, despite of maybe having collected all these from me, it is providing the least services to the people. So I say that the government, we don't have an issue about maybe collecting the taxes, because the government should do. But why are they misappropriating these funds? Why are they not prioritizing like serving the people, giving the necessary things, like providing the commodities that we require and enhancing everything that we require, so that we can feel it is a win-win situation. But we should not be feeling like if we are being punished. Actually, it is like it is a punishment to live in Kenya, and that is very painful to the young people, because getting a job, and not just a job, a good job that you are getting a good salary, it is becoming so bad. You can't bear the situation. I tell you, most young people, before we transition now from school to get a job, to get a family, like you feel like you can't do anything. You can't fathom, you can't understand like what is happening. The government has made it like very bad, a bad situation for you to survive in our country. So about the economy, we can't cheat the government that we are performing good. I think we are performing even worse.
So in your thought, you think this is just a propaganda?
It is a propaganda. We are just trying to paint the government, just applying lipsticks for them to look beautiful. But I tell them they even look bad.
Okay.
The president should address the right issue. Let's stop issues about maybe closing industries. Let them enhance, so that, you know, there is no way the government can say that they are providing employment by this housing levy thing, or maybe by providing mujengo. How comes Sylvia, I will study my degree here, after studying for 6 years nifanye mjengo, ati nichukue kabiru nianze kufanya mjengo? I think that is shameful. We are not even encouraging our young brothers to take part in this education. So like, you know, this issue about maybe having good role models, it should be created. You know, my younger brother is studying because he might see I am also doing better with my education. Then how do you expect, like, punish these ones that are there already studying and then expect others to come and study? We need a platform, we need some time, we need to be in that field that we can be allowed to execute the knowledge that we have acquired in the universities. But not tell me to do engineering in JKUATA to end up becoming a foreman. It can't go like that. We are not happy, and the government should up its game.
That is well said. Another thing that Mbadi said yesterday, that this country is not going to have peace, economic peace, until 2034. Because 2027 we have an expiry, on February we'll be having an expiry of the 900 million euro bond. 2029 we also have 1.1 billion. 2032 we have 1.2 billion, 2033 1.4 billion, 1.5 billion, and 2034 1.2 billion. So totaling this, it's about 5.8 billion Kenyan shillings that is supposed to be paid between this period and the period of 2034. And during this period, the government is saying it's going to tax Kenyans to pay the debt.
Yeah.
And also at the same time, Mbadi is saying there will be no more VAT, especially for the salaried Kenyans who have pay slips. Do you think this is just a propaganda?
As per now, in fact, to echo what CIM Alex said, it's not 40% that the government is taking in terms of direct cuts on a pay slip. And we're talking about pay slips wafanyakazi. Sana hawa wa serikali pia. 45% goes to those taxes. Maybe some people use 5% on black tax. That's 50% right now. Transport, take 10%, that is 60%. In every work, unafaa ujilipe kidogo. You can't manage from that. So, Mbadi saying that they are going to ensure that no VAT for them is a plus. But the question I keep telling Kenyans to ask, to always make sure it's lingering in their minds is, ni sawa, wameondoa VAT, ni wapi wanatoa hizi pesa? Wanasema tuko na mikopo 4.8 billion in total.
5.8.
Tunafaa kulipa, right? We need to review your debt. You should only, as a Kenya, and according to our constitution, we should only borrow for development. Kitu inaonekana, si tukope tulipe loan kwingine. Eurobond haijulikani ilifanya nini. Hata hiyo ingine yenye bado tutalipa haijulikani inafanya nini. And then you are telling us that we will get there in 2034. I believe we have so many people who can do it today. In US, a president on his inauguration day made 48 executive orders that have shaken the world. Right now, Kenyans are crying. We don't have ARVs, we don't have capitation for funding when it comes to matters health.
You say it.
Yes.
And that's all budgeted corruption. We have a lot of money, we have a lot of resources as a country. Maybe that's why we are not so much involved in the Congo War. People who are so much involved in the Congo War are people who are looking for a looting spree in those mines in Eastern Congo. But us, bado tuko poa kiasi. We are playing politics with it. Could be because our president is still new, but Tanzania's president is still new. The old folks like Kagame and Museveni and Ramaphosa, who is doing his second term, have been there a little bit. President Ruto has not been there, so yeah, fit. Come back to his economy and how to save it. If you are not doing this, then where are you getting this money? I am foreseeing a point where when the right time comes and this proposed budget finance bill is presented now to all Kenyans. Unajua saizi watu wanawaka on documents zenye iko leaked, imeachiliwa, wanaachilia kidogo kidogo. And that's why Mbadi is not being bad, is being good on PR. He did not start with Bunge la Mwananchi. He started on a podcast on NTV. Akapeana story yake, akaingia Bunge la Wananchi, akapeana story yake. Saa hizi during such a particular show ndo sasa sisi wa Kenya tunaanza kupeana our side of the story. We need the document. We may be gullible, but we are not stupid as Kenyans. Give us the bill. Wacha sisi tujisomee, tujionee kwenye unasema hautaweka VAT hapa, hautaweka VAT pale, usituimbie.
You want to see?
Yeah, and I'm challenging Kenyans to be reading. Don't consume what you're hearing always. And further, the youth have shown us the way. Go further, verify information. We had been told that kuna Grammys za Kenya. Verify that information, you'll know if it's true or false. You'll know if it's PR or not. Saizi we know PR. Saizi tunajua tukichochwa, tunajua tukiambia ukweli. But as Rigathi says, wewe ukipata hizo do nakula. Usikose kutokea mahali unasikia kuna pesa, Sylvia. We need that money tukule. But on matters economy, ama uchumi wa Kenya, we are yet to see. We don't want to hear what Mbadi is saying. Give us the bill. Let's interact with the bill. Now, give us meaningful public participation. Let us tell you about this bill. Sini yetu. This is not Mbadinomics or Rutonomics. Sio zao. Ni zetu.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is well said. Now, still on Mbadi, there is an issue of, it's a complaint. People are working for the government, the tenders supplying goods for the government, and they stay 10 years. Yesterday there was a story done, I think of Mandera. Is it Mandera or Garissa, where residents were asking President Ruto to intervene. They have worked for the government for 10 years without pay. And also, Mbadi also mentioned yesterday that 95% of pending bills are of people who worked for the government, and the government owes them at less than 10 million Kenyan shillings. Like each person, pesa yako iko between 1 and 10 million, like hujapita 10 million. And those people are 95%. And these are small and micro business enterprises. So you see, in a way, it is killing the upcoming businesses.
Yeah, sure.
And it's saying that those are the ones who are going to be given priority in the payment plan. So it has taken a long time. Do you think the government is really supporting these small and medium enterprises with this Alex?
Let me start by saying that you see, our government, just as my brother has said here, you know, our government is doing a lot of PR. I think our government is trying to maybe convince what we want to hear. Like the government will tell you, we are planning to do this, we will do it, we are doing it, and now we are doing it, and will not do it. It will be the best to tell us the stories. And about maybe these government projects, about these government tenders, first of all, we need to understand, you know, a tender, I think, for those who have done a procurement and contract management, everything with procurement, it has its flow. There is the first stage to the last stage. There is the bidding of the tenders, and also the giving of the tenders, and of course to the payments and everything. And of course the kind of work that you have done. So getting to this point that we are getting people who have not been paid to even more than 10 or maybe to approximate 10 years, and it's not 10 bob, or maybe it is like less amount of money, but we have been having the government say that we have set aside this money to do this task. So then where does that money go? Because I don't think that our government has been doing or maybe imposing projects without having allocated the money. Every year in every financial budget, we normally hear the government having set this amount of money for this kind of a project. For your information, actually there is no project that normally starts without the allocation of the resources from the government. So I don't understand, like now they are telling us that they have not managed to sort all these bills or maybe all these monies, and it's not a small amount of money that they are talking about. It is a huge amount of money. How sure are we whether it was paid or not paid? Where is the transparency in this? Where is the accountability in this? You see, most of the government tenders and whatever, they are associated with corruption, giving tenders to their people, even the companies that are directly linked to them, using proxies so that they can get all this money back to their pockets. So the issue about the government, it needs to come out clearly. Let us know very well, because it is not an issue of them alone. Let us see them coming on board, telling us that this is the kind of tenders we have, and we shall allocate them like in this manner. Tell us where the money went, the money that you got, and you said that you have paid and you have been doing, or maybe where have our money been going. That means then the money that we have been getting, we have even been getting loans to fund our projects, but we don't neither see the project. We have seen it very, very common. Our president is launching projects that have been launched. He's relaunching. You know, this government of ours is very interesting in its operation. So the governor will come and launch the project, then the president will come and now do the grand launch. The grand launch. And you know, it is very unfortunate that we are even launching some projects that have not yet been completed or maybe done well. They will come even launch a tap water, and there is no pipe down there to bring water, or maybe there is no water. Like this government, I don't, the issue about we have actually lost trust in this government. For me, I can't believe anything with this government. Even if the president was very sincere in his conversation, like telling us that we don't, or we have this debt, and for sure we have not paid, I can't even believe. Reason being, in the other development projects that they have been doing, even if they have not been doing a good job. We can't trace, even, for instance, even in the mere thing, for instance, even the issue about NCGDF, most of the MPs that we have, they can't account to the bursaries they have allocated. They have doubled, some of them have given double amounts to students. Some students, you can't even get their admission letters. Some schools can't confirm whether they received any monies. But the government side, they have disbursed all the amounts of money. So where does this money go? So the question about the government, we can't trust our government. That is the state we are. And we are telling these people, they should not be trying to convince us about development, about projects, about whatever. Some of these things, we just need to see them and we can understand. We are not that foolish that when the government is performing, we won't understand. So this government should stop maybe forcing this down our throats. as if we can't see. We are human beings. We can understand.
We are
so,
not foolish.
yeah, I don't think they should tell us where the money went.
Okay.
These people, we hear them, they are just flying now and then, every now and then. They are just flying. We hear most businesses, they are just investing outside. They are just living flamboyant lifestyles. They are buying just posh cars each now and then. You see this political class of ours, they are living a life. They are living a very good life. Then they are telling us, you guys, you need to continue believing in the process. You will get there. There is no money, yet they are staying a lavish lifestyle. So how do you expect us to believe in you, yet you are telling us we have entrusted you with our money and we don't see the outcome of maybe that money? So I feel like these monies, it is somewhere in their pockets, and they should produce this money. I think the president, or maybe this current administration, it has managed to like make its roots everywhere, from the judiciary to everywhere to the executive, like they have invaded all the loopholes, so that nobody will caution. You hear the cases, maybe the cases about corruption, maybe they actually you can't even hear them in the parliament, or maybe in the court cases. Like they have managed to maneuver. You will just get away with it. Anybody who is a pro-government person, you can't hear him or maybe her like being accused of maybe having involved themselves in these issues about corruption. But we know and we understand clearly that you are running our money, you have everything, you have all the sources, so you are just doing anything you can do with it and just giving us the little that we can and just telling us what you think we need to hear. Okay. It should stop, and we are not happy about that.
So you're saying there's a lot of budgeted corruption in our economy
It is. Actually, our country is very nice at budgeting for corruption. Okay. Actually, we can't actually avoid to say that. That is the very naked truth.
Now, there's a story on the Daily Nation. I think it's the Daily Nation. I don't have that paper here with me. Where the government is making U-turns on its projects. I think it's among the budgeted corruption that we are talking about right now, because all these projects like HELB, SHA, there are committees that are formed, the task forces that are formed to ensure that all these are implemented in the country. And as we speak right now, NHIF, SHA, HELB, eCitizen, they are reverting to the old systems as we speak. So, what's your stand on that, Ojwa?
First of all, it's sad. It's cunning. Wewe kuamka kutengeneza system zako ndio upate pesa and then urudi kule kwenye ulitoka, because from the start Kenyans have been telling you it's not working, it doesn't work that way, but wewe umekuwa just cunning. So in the Daily Nation, the biggest headline is Inside Ruto's Policy U-turns, and some of the setbacks ni hizo zenye umesema. HELB, state resorts to HELB to release upkeep cash to students to avert a crisis after new funding model was blocked by courts. The new university funding model was blocked by courts. Yesterday on Monday 3rd, there were protests in Thika Road, CBD, by different groups. One of the groups were the university students seeking for their HELB money to be released. The other group was Technical University of Kenya employees downing their tools, and they said there will be no examinations administered for this particular semester.
Actually, TUK has closed indefinitely after lecturers beating their strike. So as we speak, it has been closed indefinitely.
Yeah, it all happened yesterday. But by the end of that day, HELB ati wameachilia pesa na wamerudi kwa the old model. Why could they not have done that a long time ago? Why waste the state's resources and all that? Why waste the state's time in all that? Why play politics? Why downplay this so that you can just revert to it? Unajua, wewe utafurahi saizi ati imerudi. To them, they've done business at it and it's completed. Toka hapo ingia SHA. SHA, kuna 104 billion that was released for the system upgrade. But right now, they are saying hospitals had to revert to the defunct NHIF systems and even go manual to process claims until a new system provider was brought on board. Umesikia mpaka Alex akisema kwa mahali wanafanya kazi bado watu wanapitia shida the same, that your SHA contributions zinafanyika, hizo hazichelewi. But when you visit any public hospital or private hospital and you require your services to be, the fee to be removed from the SHA, your SHA contributions, unaambiwa hapana.
Someone told me yesterday that the system only work when you're making payments.
Yeah.
When it comes to services, they are failing.
Kuna. So they are reverting back to NHIF. Why budget such kind of corruption? Unajua bado utarudi pale. Kina David Ndii and those economic advisors, ni nini wanafanya kama sio looting spree ya kuallow their spouses? Imagine, unajua proxies ufanyika with the people from outside your family. These people are not ashamed. Wanatumia mpaka mabibi zao. They don't respect them. Niaje mama?
Mpaka watoto.
Wewe umeitisha governor kule Kiambu wamekunyima. Come here, shika ya 104 billion, mugawane na huyu, mtengeneze system. But ilikataa. Hiyo ingine ni e-citizen. Officials have struggled to enforce the single payment platform for the government services because of delays to verify payments. I asked someone yesterday, someone who is well trained in matters business, a graduate of BBIT, Bachelor of Business Information Technology, a person who has been a teacher in this country. And I asked them, what do you think will be Ruto's legacy when he leaves office, in case he does in 2027? Or what will he be? What platform will he be campaigning on? Atasema, mimi kama rais nilikuja nikaweka nini? And he said, his legacy will be the e-citizen single payment plan, so that it reduces all this budgeted corruption. Wacheni niwaambie ukweli. Hata tukiweka pesa zote kwa account moja za kuibiwa, zitaibiwa. There is a hydra. Itogo hydra cobra. Ile yenye kuna vichwa 7. Iko na kichwa kile kikubwa ndo bado husema, ndo huwa kina direct wewe utaelekea hapa in times of defense. But yote ina fail. So our president should sit down at like a man, mahali atulie tu, relax. Hata kama ataingia huko northern, atafute kamoja huko Kanyasi tent, atulie, jiulize, in 2027 nitaambia watu nilifanya nini? Politics have played right and have been active. Nimewapatia kila kitu hadi gava. Sijui wa Kenya walisema they need a broad-based government. I've given them that. What else do they want? That's not what we want. Assuming leo wata launch projects huko. Sasa wanasema tu wako screening ya IDs huko Northern Kenya. Hata upewe ID na kesho abduct, inakusaidia wapi Sylvia? Hata nikikutengenezea barabara hapa, of which bado hakuna barabara yenye tumesikia hiyo ni ya Ruto. It's launching, relaunch, grand launch again. Sasa so hiyo barabara hata kitengeneza, ni nani watapitia when all of us have been abducted? Wameturudisha help. Ni nani watatumia hii help kama sisi kama vijana bado we are still getting abducted and dying in the process and no one is asking a question? Our international community, instead of helping, hata wao wanakuja wasaidiane hii kwa abduction. Wanataka Besigye, tuma Ruto aende akashike. Wanataka Maria Sarungi, tuma Ruto. Sasa abductors kutoka nje ama militia groups Al-Shabaab wanapiga the same calls. Tusukumeni kipindi, sawa, shika 5 machief, peleka Somalia. Hapo ndo tutaishi.
Before we get into social issues, just a quick one, Alex.
Yes.
Do you think, comparing Ruto's government with the Kibaki's government, do you think Ruto's government has fared well in the 2 years compared to Kibaki's 5 years?
Actually, we can't compare anything Ruto has done with Kibaki's government. Ruto is actually living in his own mind. Actually, he's trying to do some things that I don't think, I think maybe he has another understanding of our country, but his performance is totally, actually it is a revert of what the government or maybe the other government has done. Maybe just to mention before we leave this issue about these U-turns. Having it getting to a point like we are getting back to where we were, you know, I think as a president or maybe for any government, the worst thing you should do, or maybe you could have done, or maybe you can do for our country, it is finding something at a good position, and instead of advancing and making it better, you are making it worse. Actually, it is better you retain it there, rather than actually making it worse. So you see them going back to the paying with the help, the former model, then that tells you the other model was working on better. There is nothing that is new or so good that is in this new model that up to now they have not managed to revert, or maybe have not managed to do. Let me just mention, when I was in the university, in my third year, we studied about modeling. And in modeling, we normally have the steps that we normally follow, like during such imposition of new policies, new problems, like solving, like how you need to do those things. I understand that we have 6 steps. In the 6 steps, you normally first of all analyze the data. You maybe get all the possible outcomes, or maybe you get the possible solution that you can get. Then you analyze the best models that you can use to solve that problem. Then you put that problem into a task, into a task, or maybe you try it. Then after trying it, you can now maybe see the results that have come out of that. Then you advance and maybe advise on that, how it should be handled. But for this government, I think they normally have their thinkers, or maybe those people who are giving them these policies, or maybe these advices, they tell them overnight. And you see this president of ours, anytime he receives anything new, he thinks that it will work, he normally come like a night angel, and will announce without even having confirmed whether we have the accurate data, we have the accurate system to handle this program. And that is why everything that this government is maybe trying to impose, it is failing. Like, this government is in a rush. It is treating every matter in urgency. I tell the president that this country is not his. It is ours, all of us. It is not a must that he is the one who will deliver our country to the best place that we deserve. So he should take us slowly. Our scope is not that of his speed. So he should, maybe if he feels like he have to impose this thing, let him involve us. Let have the public participation, but not having issues. They come at their desk at night, and then tomorrow in the morning they have changed. They have shifted from shisha to whatever. It's not giving. Even the help thing, it is a lot of things that are not working, that have been imposed by this very, very, very illegitimate.
So Mr. President, atupeleke na pesi yetu. Kenya ni home.
Kenya ni nyumbani, na ni yetu sisi wote. Na kila Mkenya anataka kujenga nchi yetu.
Okay.
Acha kujenga Kenya na kiburi.
Now leaving politics on that note, that your pes.
Sija compare walai yo ya Naruto.
Aongei kutoke.
Wacha initoke. Every president, when getting sworn in, anakuwa na kitu inaitwa executive orders.
Yes.
Those are orders that you make. Now, these orders mostly are not challenged either in the court or parliament. In the year 27th December, Kenyans went on polls and elected for the very first time a new regime and not KANU. We could compare Ruto's regime to KANU regime, but not hiyo NAC yenye ilikuwa 202. In 202 a president came na education ikakuwa free. Kazi ya machifu ilikuwa hii, tani kuambie, because some of us were still young, to make sure kila mtoto anaenda shule. So 2022, before Ruto came to power, alikuwa amesema nikiingia huko, kitu cha kwanza, internet is free for everyone, especially for the youth. Ajira yenye tumetoka kuongelelea, hiyo time ndio ilikuwa inapigiwa nini sana, that nitai-empower zaidi. That has not happened. In fact, saizi bundles ziko expensive for those using bundles. Internet inasumbua for those using it. That's why Starlink came in. Saizi wanaambiwa hapana, hiyo yenyu ya juu haiko fiti, we go under the sea. In the same year, 2 years in, Kibaki had a constitution reforms minister, anaitwa Martha Karua. Ilifika mahali hadi walikosana because she was on her toes working. In Ruto's 2 years, we've had increased cases of violations of the constitution, mutilation of the constitution, vitu zenye tulizisikia mara ya mwisho time ya Moi kama abductions zinakuja hivi ati tunakaa vitu tulikuwa tunasoma kwa vitabu manze tunaziona.
It was a movie.
In 2 years during Kibaki's time mambo yalikuwa yamebadilika, the economy had changed, but this time round kitu imeanguka ni dollar. Are you feeling the weight of dollar going down? No.
But
no
you know,
one is
but
feeling.
he's saying we have reserves that can sustain the country for up to 4 months.
We have, but are they doing that? Are they using these resources to serve us for those months that they're talking about? No, they are pocketing them and then crying, oh Trump bana mbona unatufinya, tupe madawa. Sisi wenyewe hatushughulikii madawa. Wengine wanatuambia for us to buy meat from you lazima mchanja wanyama wenyu in this way. Kenya Meat Commission can provide that meat for Kenyans and we buy. We don't have to export. We don't have to go through what they want ati ndio satengeneze. So Ruto should not compare his administration with that of Kibaki. Compare to na ya Moi. Tutampe liwe na tuseme Moi took this country when it was still a teenager. We were 15 years old with the first president Jomo Kenyatta. So amepata nchi yenye kila mtu ako kichwa. Alikalia watu sana after 1982 attempted coup that failed. Kutoka hapo hivyo shida za Moi mingi zilikuwa ni political problems, not development problems. In today's newspaper, Kabarak University wana celebrate wakati wa Moi kuliletwa universities mingi. Wakati wa Moi kumekuwa na Nyayo T-zones, ndio watu wakuwa empowered huko mashinani kulima chai, kulima kahawa, kulima miwa, and all those industries. We are not seeing that now. I think President Ruto is a president of his own. He's a unique man. Let's say that.
Oh my God. Now, let me just leave it at that. President Ruto is a man of his own. Now, there's an interesting story on the Standard. It's a social story or a health story. After GMOs, talk of super babies gaining traction. You know what this is about? That sasa wanasayansi wameamua wafanye innovations. Sasa unaweza amua mtoto wako atakaje, atakuwa na IQ kiasi gani, atakuwa na genetics aina gani, atakuwa resistant to which diseases. That is on the Standard. That is story page number 3. That is the story we have. Now tumetoka kwa wakati GMO ilikuwa inawashtua ati I want to cook my own food. Sasa ni GMO. What do you think about the innovations in the health industry and how it's going to affect our future? Thanks.
Yes, I think time is rushing, and as time is rushing, the same way technology is advancing, and I think we are expecting even more of such to happen. You see, the other day we were talking about GMOs, what we are eating. Just amia mahindi, we are talking maybe we don't want that because of course we have the repercussion maybe it has. Maybe for this one, now I feel like we now want to alter. We are now, because I think the issue about genetic, we are altering what the Bible, of course, God. Maybe let me bring in the factor of God here and the Bible, because I think we are now questioning the work of God, because I think it was enough between the man and the woman to just deliver a baby. With them not doing it and maybe having a lot of such things to alter. Yeah, so I feel like if it getting to this place, I think we need to know the repercussions, because I feel like even if the consumption of the current things, or maybe the issues that have been having there about the technology, we have not been seeing, some of them have been having bad repercussions to our people. And of course, it is not all that are working out. Sometimes, you see, we might now change. Like, we are a people of, maybe, for instance, we in the Africa, we have our culture and our things. We are talking of maybe getting back to our culture, our values, our heredity, things of the sort. So I wonder, now that we will now be coming and having these other generations, I don't know where we are headed as a country or maybe as the world, but I feel for me, I'm yet to know how it will turn out around. I don't know, I'm altering the baby, my baby, I want him to be an expert. What if he becomes a more expert than I expected? You know, even these zombies, they are just created in the same manner. You know, when we are testing this thing, me, I will advise, or maybe, you know, we have maybe the limited access to these things. And I tell you, most of these things that normally originate from the Western culture, or maybe from these other countries, I feel like they normally have an agenda. Every people, or maybe these people, they are not talking about the problem of food. They want to explore space. They are now even trying to create their own earth on the air. So for me, I think for us here, we should at least first of all cope up with the problems that we have of water, because we don't have water for our people. We should first of all cope up with the issue about food. Let's have our stomachs full for our people, rather than encouraging things, because me, I feel it will have a far bad consequences compared to the good. Let's adapt to the normal thing of maybe holding our heredity and our well-being, because altering the mind of a person, we don't know whether it is a person we have or it's just a robot walking around. And you know, we expect this person to be interacting with now us, who are the normal human beings. So what if that man, or maybe those kids, maybe, or maybe whatever they have, they will now be catalyzed to maybe having those, maybe don't know how it will turn out back there. So for me, I feel maybe we can't maybe refuse to have technology advancing and maybe the things of maybe advancement, but let us be cautious. Let us get to learn and to know everything. Let's know the aftermath of this. What is the objective of those people who are imposing this, so that to embrace this thing about technology, then we come to find that our country, or maybe our policies, our facilities, they can't handle these people. You see, it's not just about giving birth to these intellectual, maybe these advanced people. So at least we need to get a well plan about this whole issue.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Juan, kama tumesema, plastic surgery was not enough, robots was not enough, tukashtuka AI to replace, and now there is editing the future, era of designer babies coming. What do you think about this?
Times are changing. Humans are the same. They want more. They want excellence. Hawataki stress. So they started with si lazima wao ubebe mimba kama mwanamke. Naweza tafuta mwingine akuwe surrogate mother, nimlipe anibebe. Wakatoka huko wakasema robots zinafaa zitusaidie mahali. Sasa kama uko na pesa, mbona utafute robot mtu mzima na wewe unapenda? You know, as humans we still have something that is constant in all of us. All of us have an emotion that is called love. Irrespective of who you are, you have love. So you want to love something that you think ndio yako. Again, utapata huyu mwanaume anapenda huyu msichana, lakini huyu msichana hana qualities zenye wewe unataka. So we've seen it in the movies happening that mtu anaingia, unapata like your wife has died, unfortunately. You create someone who looks like her. And now they want watengeneze sasa watoto to grow nako. Vile tu machine ufail, mbona huyu hata fail? It's like domesticating a lion. It's still a carnivorous animal. One day, one time, ikiwa njaa zaidi na ijam, itakufeed. There are mistakes that we cannot run away from, because the future is digital. In US, they said that they will ensure in Trump's administration they have planted US flag en masse. Inamaanisha tuko wengi, tumezaliwa wengi, wengine lazima waende huko. Aliens pia ziko in this world. They are on earth. Hata wanatafuta space. So hii kukua mjanja imeletwa na religion not answering all our problems or questions that we have For example, God is the creator. How does he create? So the Bible tells you it's through a word of mouth. Ama chukua matope hapa, chukua matope pale. Scientists wanauliza haya. Then if you are all created in the image and likeness of God, sisi tuna create nini? Nitafute msichana, huyu msichana tukae chini, tupange haya maneno, then tupate mtoto. But huyu mtoto kuna kitu ana lack. IQ ya huyu mtoto
tatumweke.
Wanasahau. The apple always falls near that tree. So ni wewe ukae chini ujipange, tafuta mtu ambaye ako na akili.
Okay.
Wacha kutafuta akili uweke kwa mtu hayuko. Na ikikataa
achana na
utakuwa umewaste hiyo investment.
Okay.
So iko. But something that is worrying is the painful reality of toxic substances that are being used in the name of innovation to create products that are supposed to help us. In today's standard, utasoma kuhusu vitu zinaiko kwa sanitary pads and towels.
Yeah.
The chemicals there include cadmium, they are affecting us na zitatuumiza tena zaidi. They will affect our women. Kulikuwa na vaccine ya HPV.
We are running out of time.
We are running out. Namaliza. Kulikuwa na vaccination ya HPV. Can I tell you some of the observances that I've made? The first ladies between 13 to 18 that got this vaccination wako na shida za gayism or hizo hormones kupanda za mwanaume. They are not interested with men anymore. They want their fellow females. So we must be very careful on what we are doing and the kind of innovations that we want to help us. Thank you so much.
On that note, just give us your closing remark, then we'll shift to Alex.
So, my closing remark goes to all Kenyans. You have a duty and responsibility to protect your brother. You have a duty and responsibility to protect your sister. These are not people you are related to via blood. These are people who are your neighbors. Ukiumwa saa hii, mtu wa kwanza kusikia ni huyo neighbor yako. Can we end the era of abductions because we have all the power? Constitution of Kenya preamble says that all sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised in accordance to the Constitution of Kenya. Yes, we don't have laws to deal with people who are abducting. If we don't have such law, then you as a Kenyan, you should create that law. Enforce citizen unrest. Don't allow anyone to be abducted while you know very well no one will be responsible. Ojwang Mariam.
Thank you so much, Ojwang. Alex?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sylvia. As I wind up, I just have two things to mention to maybe everybody who is watching us, especially to the youth. I just want to tell you that we should not wait for injustice to happen to you so that you can go seek for justice. Let us stand for justice, because if it doesn't happen to you right now, then tomorrow just know it will find you where you are. And finally, this is our country and we shall not get another country. So if our country goes to the wrong direction because of bad governorship, then we shall be the ones to be held accountable. So our forefathers fought really hard to deliver this country and the independence to us. So I tell you that we should make sure that we deliver at least good governorship for our country. We have good leaders and we should take all these leaders who don't have any vision for our country home so that we can stop maybe this complaining and lamenting about our country. Thank you very much and see you next time.
Thank you so much, Alex. That is CIM Murithi Alex, founder and chairperson, Gadi Getundu North, and Ojwang Mariam. Thank you so much, both of you, for making time for us on Biashara Tuesday this morning. I'm Anyango Sylvia, and we hope to see you again next week at the same time.